Last week on the Texas Team Trail, we launched day one of the 2022 championship on the Choke Canyon Reservoir in deep South Texas. Historically, Choke is a big bass destination, but a long drought has the lake 20 feet low and fishing tough. By day's end, two teams had broken the 25-pound barrier, with Brian Cotter and Kyle Judd in second with 25-30, and Shane Campbell and Wyatt Frankens on top with 25-36.
Choke's got big ones, and when you're really anywhere in South Texas, you've got to go swinging to win. And you know, here they're giving out a boat for first and second, so the 1 or 2 hole is the way. That's the only
goal.
That's the only thing to gun for.
With 8 hours left in the season, we're down to the wire. There's $136,000 on the table, including a boat for first and second place. The race for the Lucas Oil and Marine Team of the Year is also in play. We'll keep an eye on that right here on the Texas Team Trail, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Day 2 of the 2022 championship is underway, and we're on board with tournament leaders Shane Campbell and Wyatt Frankens. Checking the numbers, 5 pounds separates first and 10th, but on a lake like Choke Canyon, one big bite can change everything.
It's tight. It's gonna be a shootout today. The weights are really close. I mean, there's the top 20 is probably well in the conversation on this lake. Nobody's really out of it, so we've got a little bit more pressure than we had yesterday out here. There's another tournament going on, so the lake's fishing small. I think it's gonna be an interesting one. Pretty much what you're looking at right here is this is just a long road bed that runs all the way across right here. And this is just where it narrows down to the very end of it. You can actually see up there on the bank where it comes in the grass right here, and they're just cruising up and down this thing, man. And we found it the first day of practice, and they were on it a lot better than they were yesterday, so we're hoping they get stacked on it like the first day we found it. So
It's a big part of what we do a lot, not just on this lake, but on all lakes really. Any time of the year is, I use Garmin Live Scope almost every tournament. Matter of fact, yesterday I caught a fish. It was a 4-pounder. We were island up to a spot to cast at it, and I just noticed one. We were about 20 foot of water and it's 8 foot down, and I just had an old monster in my hand, so I just pitched it out there and she ate it on the fall. I mean, without this technology, you're not gonna catch that fish. Definitely been a huge tool for us, so. Big one?
it's a decent one.
Number 1.
Put it on the old small side over here.
Right.
Yeah.
With one in the box for our tournament leaders, we'll move on and check in with the second place team of Brian Cotter and Kyle Judd.
Good
Oh
one.
man, it's not a giant, it's a keeper.
Launching this morning less than an ounce behind the leaders. Brian,
Maybe.
throwing a Texas-rigged soft plastic, gets his first bite of the day.
Dang, I hate to have to measure one, but I will. Oh yeah, 16. Here you go, bud. You put a clip on it.
Plan today is to go whack them and stack them, and just gonna work our area and hope them fish are there and ready to chew. We got a game plan. Start off the first thing, hit our water real quick, cover as much as we can for the first hour or so. That bite really is until maybe the second or third hour, so get what we can to start. Anything on top of that is extra pudding on the cake, I guess.
Early on the final day, and the two top teams are back to even. Wrapping up the 2022 season, the schedule is already out for 2023. We'll talk about payouts in a bit. Here's a quick look at the 4 qualifying stops with the season-ending championship still to be determined. Keep checking back at TexasTeamTrail.com or look us up on Facebook and Instagram for the latest updates. The Texas Team Trail is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. And by Lucas Oil and High Performance Marine Products. Coming up, we're back on the water with more from Day 2 at Choke Canyon Reservoir and the 2022 Texas Team Trail Championship.
Trust. It comes from experience. Long seasons, short nights. Lessons learned and shared. Sometimes it's easy. But usually it isn't. Seasons come and go, and few things last. But the ones that do are the ones you trust.
Days off are best with sandy feet and smiles as bright as the sun. Those are the good days, when life slows down and your only job is making memories that nourish your soul. Mercury engines are made for exploring. So are you. Go boldly.
At Lucas Oil, we take pride in creating problem-solving products to make your car care easier. We protect your vehicle and make it run longer so you can focus on the things that matter most. Whether it's commuting to work, visiting a loved one, taking the kids where they need to go, going to the big game, or anywhere life takes you, Lucas Oil is committed to getting you there for all of life's important moments. Lucas Oil, it works.
Welcome back to the Texas Team Trail presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. We're in deep South Texas on Choke Canyon, a 25,000-acre reservoir 90 miles south of San Antonio for the final day of the 2022 season. We've got 81 teams fishing for the title and a chunk of that $136,000 total purse, including a Ranger Mercury package for first and second place. The Lucas Oil and Marine Team of the Year is also in play. We'll talk more about that later. Getting back on the water, this is Kurt Luker and Jason Stovall. Fishing offshore, they're dragging plastics over structure. They launched this morning in third overall after sacking up 5 for 24.53.
It was good. Steady all day, just stayed offshore, threw a big worm all day. I think we need another 24, 25 pounds tomorrow, and try and do the same thing, just hope we get the right bites.
With another trail on the lake this morning, Luker and Stovall are fishing in a bit of a crowd, each boat jockeying for position. The early bites have proven tough. Most teams reporting the better action has been later in the day. When the sun gets high in the sky, the fish tend to tighten up to structure or under the thick hydrilla mats. Fishing deep, they managed to put a couple in the live well. They're small, but it's early, and they got plenty of time.
It's okay, we'll make it happen. We got 3 spots for rotating, but the lake's awfully crowded right now, so you got to get in where you can get in.
Good?
Yeah.
Real good.
It's a big one. Get down. She's gonna dig, you know she is.
Got her.
Yes, sir.
That's the way to start the morning right there. That's a 7-pounder for show. Good job, Curdy boy. Good.
Tell me about that for a little bit, how you got it. Man, we got some points here that we're running, and there's a guy fishing. There's another federation tournament going on, and he's sitting where we caught all but one of our big ones yesterday. So we come down here to the next point, and it just kind of sets up the same. The rock comes out pretty deep. We're sitting in about 25 to 28 foot. And we're just throwing up on it and dragging a big worm off of it. It's really color specific for us. I've never had it like that before. I don't know what it is or what it means, but we're only getting bit on one color. We drove to San Antonio yesterday, an hour and a half one way to pick up the color worm we're using. It might be a confidence deal. It might be that's what they're eating. I don't know, but it's working for us so far.
What you got?
Back on our day one leaders, Campbell and Frankens. They're fishing a similar pattern, pulling old monster 10-inch worms.
Little bait fuel.
If it keeps, this will be their second.
Man, that was way out there. Did he hit on the fall?
It's just too bad. Go ahead and hit him. I don't know how good he's hooked.
Thought he was bigger than that, for sure.
No, I didn't think he was big.
I think what happened there is he got lucky and one hit it on the fall, and he's gonna say it was the bait fuel.
I don't know who's involved with bait fuel, but you're welcome. Hit me up.
Shane and Wyatt are using bait fuel, but there's about 50 other brands and flavors of fish attractants out there, and you can find just about all of them at Bass Pro Shops or Cabela's. Shop online for the largest selection and quick delivery. You're watching the Texas Team Trail, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. This segment is also brought to you by Garmin Electronics, Fight Your Fish, Not Your Fish Finder, Nitro Boats, Pro Level Performance, Mercury Marine Outboards, Go Boldly, and by AFTCO, any fish, any water. Coming up, we're back on the water with more final day coverage right here on the Texas Team Trail, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.
You have a full-time job and you want to be a full-time angler. Don't waste time scouting. You want to catch fish. That's where Garmin comes in. Our mapping with Navionics data lets you see more detail than the fish do. It's kind of a big deal. Oh, and our industry-leading live sonar is so crisp and clear you'll think you jumped in. You're welcome. Now, if only we had a powerful, efficient, whisper-quiet trolling motor. Actually, we do. It's called Force. We knew you'd like that. Less time finding, more time catching fish. Only with Garmin.
The best way to connect with the outdoors is to get outdoors. From setting up trail cameras and tending food plots to getting to your spot before dawn. At every point of the hunting season, a Tracker Off-Road ATV or side-by-side can be counted on to get the job done. Enjoy American-made quality and the great outdoors without breaking the bank. Tracker Off-Road, built for the love of country.
Change. It's inevitable. To improve, you must adapt. The sport is evolving. A paradigm shift is a fundamental change of basic concepts. Don't get left behind. Introducing Paradigm. Paradigm Reels by Duckett Fishing. Pro-driven.
I've made my living on the water for over 20 years.
For 14 years.
For over 23 years.
I've worn a bunch of different clothing brands over the years.
Some companies big.
And some companies small. All of them said they were making clothing for us.
But none of them knew us.
None of them were us. Except for one.
Except for one.
Except one. AFTCO. AFTCO.
AFTCO. AFTCO.
Fishing isn't part of us. It is us.
The clock is ticking on day 2 of the 2022 Texas Team Trail Championship, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. We've got $136,000 up for grabs, including a Ranger Mercury package for first and second place. We've also got the Lucas Oil and Marine Team of the Year in play. There's still 3 or 4 teams in the thick of it, and we'll talk more about that at weigh-in. Getting back on the water, we'll pick up championship coverage with the team of Brian Cotter and Kyle Judd.
There you go. Get him.
Starting the day in second overall, they've struggled a bit. By midday, they've got 4 for maybe 8 pounds in the live well, but Brian is hooked up again.
I hope he's still there. That was a good one. Come on, baby, stay on. Stay on.
Keep him tight.
I don't feel him.
Slow down, slow down.
He's on there. He's on there. He's on there.
Easy, don't break.
You might have to, oh man, this is not the best of line either. There he is. Oh, he's not that big. Shoot. Get him in though. Golly, I thought he was bigger than that.
So did I. He hit it like he's full grown.
Oh my gosh.
With a limit in the boat and a couple hours left on the day, from here on out, Cotter and Judd will be culling. Back on your day one leaders, Shane Campbell and Wyatt Frankens. They're in a bit of trouble.
Why won't they just be 10-pounders?
After sacking up 25 pounds on day one, they've only put 3 in the boat, and they are struggling for size.
Guys, get bigger than that, boys.
Heading out on the main lake, we'll check in with the third place team of Kurt Luger and Jason Stovall. Dragging plastics on points, they've managed 3, and after a long lull in the action, Kurt
just like a little
into their fourth.
Don't fool with me like that. Don't give me the head shake. Oh man, cut the line. Yeah.
Man, it's been slow. We got a big one, a decent one, and a tiny one, and it's, what time is it? It's too late. Just keeping at it. We had a lull yesterday. We're starting to get worried. We had a lull yesterday between about 10 o'clock and what, 12 probably?
Yeah, about 10 to 12.
And didn't catch but 1 or 2 fish, small. We caught everything before, so hopefully that's not the case today because we got a lot of work to do still. But that helped.
Time is running out on the 2022 season of the TXTT, but we're already gearing up for 2023. We've shown you the schedule, but we've also got some big changes in store. Next season, only the top 75 teams in the Lucas Oil and Marine point standings will qualify for the championship. And, in even bigger news, the top team in the standings will be awarded a boat and motor package at the end of the season. To learn more about the Lucas Oil and Marine Team of the Year program, look us up at TexasTeamTrail.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram for the latest news and information. This portion of the Texas Team Trail presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's is also brought to you by TH Marine, from transom to trolling motor, Triton Boats, the driving force of performance fishing, and by Sunline, the strength to guaranteed confidence. Next up, the Texas Team Trail heads to the final weigh-in of the season. Stay close.
Born in Japan, using technology, innovation, and precision, Sunline produces the widest selection of fishing lines at the most technologically advanced line factory in the world. Manufactured at the strictest tolerances to produce victories at the highest levels of tournament bass fishing. From household names like Christie, Swindle, and Cruz, to young guns like Cook, Logan, New, and Welcher, they all trust Sunline to take them to the top of the leaderboard. Choose the line that will give you the strength to guarantee your confidence. Sunline.
Things you let me see. Things you let me see.
Trust. It comes from experience. Long seasons, short nights. Lessons learned and shared. Sometimes it's easy. But usually it isn't. Seasons come and go, and few things last. The ones that do are the ones you trust.
Back on Choke Canyon Reservoir, the Texas Team Trail presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's is ready to head to weigh-in and crown this year's champs. But before we do, we'd like to give a big thanks to Rick Anderson and Choke Canyon Lodge for their efforts in putting this event together. If you find yourself in the region, check out Choke Canyon Lodge. They've got a variety of rooms and condos with all the amenities. Heading to the scales. Fishing was definitely tougher on day 2, but Choke Canyon still showed out, and we saw a number of bass over 8 pounds come across the stage. Getting right down to business, the Lucas Oil and Marine point standings comes down to the top 4 teams. Points leaders Clayton Bulware and Albert Collins gave it a run, but with an 18th place overall finish, they'll drop down to 3rd. Russell Lee and Landon Ware came into this event 2 points behind the leaders. Finishing the week in 5th place overall, they'll move up into the top spot. Todd Castledine won Team of the Year back in 2016, sitting 4th in the standings. He and partner Brent Broussard made a good run at it, finishing 5th place overall. Just couldn't make up the point deficit to overcome Lee and Ware. Nor could Gary Kennard and Rick Scott, finishing 4th overall. They'll come up just 8 points short, leading Russell Lee and Landon Ware as your 2022 TXTT Lucas Oil and Marine Team of the Year.
We'll be giving you some money too here in a few minutes. But Landon, if you will, just kind of, you don't have to necessarily do a blow by blow, but this is quite an accomplishment. Tell us a little bit about how things came together for y'all.
Well, really, it takes two people practicing, both people finding fish, and it's definitely a team effort. And when you fish against the best guys in the state of Texas and you got them right here, you definitely did something. It's an accomplishment. So you may die and not ever do this again. So I'm very happy that it happened.
And that brings us to the main event. We're paying down 12 places with a Ranger Mercury package going to the top 2 teams. We're down to the final 4.
These guys had 23.77 yesterday. We're going to add another 20 pounds, 20.81 today. Your new tournament leaders, total weight of 44.58. Way to go, guys. Our day 1 leaders, Shane Campbell and Wyatt Frankens, had 25.36 yesterday. Let's see what we're going to add to that, guys. We're going to add another 22.07, 2-day total of 47.43. Easily the leaders after 2 days. Man, God.
Kurt Luker and Jason Stovall are up next.
Come on up, Kurt Luker and Jason Stovall. 5 Alive had 24.53 yesterday. Need 22.91 to take the lead. Gonna come up short. 17.98 today. 2-day total 42.51. Congratulations, man. Better than 21 pounds a day.
It was a lot slower than yesterday. Started out slower. Got 1 big bite, and it was noon before we got a limit, and then just never could get any more, big fish in there, just cold ounces at a time. So.
And now we're down to the final team. Brian Cotter and Kyle Judd.
Brian Cotter and Kyle Judge sitting in 2nd place after day 1 with 25.30. Let's see what we can add to that. 12.30 today. Going to give you a 2-day total of 37.60. Still a great event,
Dropping down
guys.
to 12th, Cotter and Judge finish in the money, cashing out $750.
Fun. Oh my gosh, it was a blast out here.
Yeah, it's been
fishing
fun.
with this guy. It's always a good time, and we always have a good time. Catch a lot of fish, which we did. We ended up maybe 40 fish today, 35, 40. But not the size obviously, but it's a fun, great 4 days, man. I mean, that's a lot of fishing and a lot of fun.
And that leaves Shane Campbell and Wyatt Frankens as your
Congratulations,
2022
Shane.
Texas Team Trail Champions.
You like that, do you?
Man, you have no idea.
Range of emotions was wild this afternoon. I mean, like we said earlier, at 12:30 we had 10 pounds. We were going to day 2 as a leader. We're coming in possibly not even getting a check. We were, that kind of ominous feeling starts to sink in. And in 15 minutes, we called our 3 smallest ones with 3 really good fish. And I looked at Wyatt and I said, I don't know what just happened, but we just scared this thing. We might come in and just win it. So it's a from low to high, it's a range of emotions and feels good.
Yeah, and I'll say, they always talk about when it's your time, and we kind of saw it, from day 1 to today.
Sure.
And man, it's a blessing. I've wanted one of these. I can't sit here and say I'm fishing for a long time. I know I'm kind of young, but we both work really hard, man. And we've wanted one of these for a little bit, and to win the championship,
we've been saying it all weekend.
It's the granddaddy of them all, man.
For their efforts, they'll take home a prize package worth just over $65,000. On the contingency side, they pick up an additional $500 as the top finisher registered as a Garmin user. John Brown and Matthew Moore wrapped up the week in second, so they'll too take home a Ranger Mercury package worth $52,995.
This would definitely be the biggest victory. We have not moneyed or placed in a single Texas Team Trail event all year long, but we've been faithful and trying, just saying, well, hey, maybe it's going to happen at the championship. And we definitely had a great championship, so hopefully it'll hold up.
I think coming, after the fourth tournament for Texas Team Trail for the regular season, we were in 42nd place overall. And this is our first year to fish it, and we thought that was pretty decent, coming in with all these big sticks and fishing for the first time with them. And hopefully today it'll hold out.
Well, that'll do it for the 2022 season of the Texas Team Trail presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Here's another look at the 4 qualifying stops for 2023. It's going to be a brand new season with lots of exciting changes. Get all the details at TexasTeamTrail.com. For the best selection of tackle and electronics, Bass Pro or Cabela's.com has you covered. And for all your automotive and boat care needs, LucasOil.com. That wraps up 2022. We'll see you next year, right here on the Texas Team Trail, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.